Candace Owens' recent claims about Charlie Kirk's wife have exploded across social media, shaking not only the conservative movement, but also mainstream media outlets that can't stop talking about it. To understand why this is such a shocking turn of events, we have to look at the relationship between Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk over the years. These two weren't strangers. They were partners in the conservative space, often appearing together, often defending one another, and at times even shaping the same political conversations. So when Candace points the finger at Charlie's wife, suggesting she may have been involved in his untimely death, it doesn't come across as a random conspiracy theory. It feels like a betrayal from within, a stunning moment where someone close to the circle starts raising doubts about one of their own. Now, the question is, why would Candace Owens risk everything to say this? She knows the backlash she will get. She knows the headlines that will follow, and she knows that people will call her reckless, cruel, and opportunistic. But if there's one thing Candace Owens has shown throughout her career, it's that she doesn't care about backlash. She thrives on controversy. She thrives on asking the questions nobody else wants to ask. And in her own words, she claims she isn't making these statements for attention. She says she's doing it because the truth needs to come out, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. When we examine the timeline of Charlie Kirk's death, there are indeed moments that some people have called strange. Reports about the days leading up to it have been vague, the circumstances not fully explained, and details have shifted from one statement to another. Candace Owens has seized on these inconsistencies. She argues that whenever a narrative doesn't line up, whenever the facts seem scrambled, that's usually a sign that someone is hiding something. And in this case, she believes Charlie's wife holds the key. Owens has hinted that she has receipts. She hasn't shown them all yet, but she claims to have messages, testimonies, and perhaps even documents that would prove her theory. This has left her followers waiting anxiously. Every podcast, every social media post, they ask the same question. When will Candace show the proof? And if she does, what will it reveal about Charlie Kirk's marriage, his final days, and the role his wife allegedly played? Meanwhile, critics have gone on the attack. Mainstream outlets have blasted Owens for crossing the line. They argue that she's weaponizing grief, attacking a widow, and exploiting a tragedy for clicks and views. But Candace is no stranger to this type of criticism. In fact, one could argue that criticism fuels her. Every time people tell her to stop, she doubles down. And this time, she's doubling down on one of the most shocking narratives we've seen in conservative politics. Let's take a step back and remember who Charlie Kirk was. As the founder of Turning Point USA, he was a powerful figure in shaping young conservative voices. He wasn't just a commentator, he was a builder, someone who created an organization that influenced students, campuses, and ultimately the national conversation. His passing left a void, and that void has already caused division and questions. Add Candace Owens' accusations into the mix, and suddenly the conservative world is not only mourning but also fighting among themselves. This is where things get interesting. Supporters of Candace Owens are standing by her, saying she wouldn't make such claims without reason. They believe she's one of the few people brave enough to challenge the official narrative. Others, though, are disgusted. They believe her words are nothing but a betrayal to a grieving widow, an unnecessary attack that disrespects Charlie's memory. This clash of opinions has turned into a full-blown war on social media. Some hashtags are trending in support of Candace, others in defense of Charlie's wife. Every day, new videos, new tweets, new threads pop up, adding more fuel to the fire. If we examine Candace Owens' track record, we see a pattern. She has often been the first to call out what she sees as corruption, deception, or dishonesty. Sometimes she's later proven right. Other times, her words have stirred controversy without evidence to back them up. This duality makes her one of the most polarizing voices in America. People either trust her deeply or dismiss her completely. And in the case of Charlie Kirk's wife, that polarization is reaching a breaking point. But what if Candace Owens is telling the truth? What if there really are unanswered questions about Charlie's death? And what if his wife really does know more than she's admitting? Imagine the impact that would have. It would shake not only the conservative movement, but also the trust that supporters have placed in its leaders. It would force people to re-examine everything they thought about Charlie Kirk's legacy. On the other hand, what if Candace Owens is wrong? What if her claims are baseless, and all she's done is add pain to a grieving family? In that case, her reputation could take a serious hit. People who once stood by her might finally walk away. And yet, Candace seems prepared for that possibility. She seems ready to stand alone if she has to, as long as she believes she's speaking the truth. The deeper this story goes, the more people demand answers. They want Candace to show her evidence. They want Charlie's wife to respond. And they want the conservative movement to address the elephant in the room. How did one of their most trusted voices end up accusing another of murder? This is not just about one claim. It's about loyalty, truth, image, and legacy. It's about whether people can still trust the figures they've supported for years. And it's about how fragile reputations can be in the age of social media, where one statement can ignite a storm that doesn't die down for weeks, months, or even years.